everybody, and welcome to another Mention It Monday. I'm so glad to be back with you today, Mary.
Thanks. We missed you at the Stash Builders last week.
Yes, I will be back tonight, so be sure to check us out tonight for Stash Builders again. We have a special location today, so be sure to check
Filming
us
on
out.
location.
So what you got today for us today, Mary, on Mention It Monday?
Well, so we were trying to think of what product we wanted to talk about, and I was recently planning a class using walking feet, and Charity, in her infinite wisdom, said, "Oh my gosh, you have to show this Move It feet." And I said, and I said, "What?" And then she showed it to me. What an amazing tool this one is. Most of us are familiar with a traditional walking foot. I hope you can see this. This is just a traditional walking foot. Hooks on my any sewing machine practically has one. And what it does is it allows me to move my upper fabric at the same speed that I move my lower fabric. With a regular foot, say like this, the way a sewing machine works is you have feed dogs underneath, and they are moving the bottom fabric along rhythmically based upon your stitch length that you've set. And it's up to the upper fabric to hold on for dear life and travel along at the same speed. Anybody who's tried to sew with knits or shears or to quilt knows how often that upper fabric just doesn't hang on for dear life. And before you know it, if this has ever happened to you, you start out with them matching, but you didn't pin, and by the time you get to the end, the top fabric is a fractionally larger or longer than the top. For a long time, I never understood why that was happening, and now what I learned ultimately was because my upper thread fabric is just having to hold on. With using a regular walking foot, I have this little device that kind of grabs and pulls and grabs and pulls and grabs and pulls, again rhythmically, but not necessarily in the same rhythm as the bottom one. So while they're wonderful and they're certainly affordable, walking feet are great. But this Move It foot, if you have the kind of brother, a large format embroidery machine, any of the Dream series, the Luminaire, Stellaire, and this one I'm going to show it to you on is what I just love this sewing machine. It's called the 2450. It is a large throated sewing machine, so it's great for free motion quilting. It comes with an extended base and this amazing foot. Charity, do you know how much the Move It foot is if your machine did not have one? $3.99. So that it is included in the price of this machine is a heck of a deal. So I'm going to show you. So you've seen before, here's one I did on, let's see if I can find my little seam. Here's one I did. Can you see that, Charity? Mm-hmm. Just using a regular foot. And you see I have a degree of lettucing happening there, meaning that my fabric is rippling because that upper thread was not being, that upper fabric. So am I on?
We're on, but they can't see.
Oh, can they hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. Hi, y'all.
Just give us a second to get back on. We're trying to get it where we're wired into the Ethernet, but they can see now.
Okay. You see, I pulled on it out of nervousness, so, but it had a certain amount of lettucing happening there because I was just using a regular foot, so I wasn't feeding the upper fabric at the same rate of speed as I was feeding the lower fabric. So if you've ever tried to stitch with Meepy, you know what a challenge that is in a four-way stretch fabric, what a challenge that is to keep it. So let me just show you how this works. This foot also, well, I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just going to press go, and you'll see what I want you to notice is, let me get a pen so I can point. You see this little belt right here? So instead of being that chunk of a regular walking foot, you have this belt-driven system. And what's interesting is you can change the tension or the speed of that belt and achieve for yourself a differential feed, much like you might have on a serger, which is really groovy. So let's just see this go. You'll watch that little belt travel, and here we go. And if you look, you can see it moving. Because my foot has all these awesome markings, I know when I can turn and pivot if I need to. And look at that. That is perfectly flat. Let me do it again. All right. They're telling me you've lost my picture again.
Hang on. There's the you, Mary. Yeah. But Charity, we lost your feed.
Oh. So I'm going to keep going, and Charity's going to try to join us with the close-up. But what this little thing is doing is it's pulling it along perfectly to match top to bottom fabric feeding so that I get beautiful flat seams. And I love to use cuddle or and quilt backs, but man, I don't like to piece them because how hard it is to get that flat and straight. And look how nice that is. Okay, so that's the Move It foot on a stretch. Watch this. I'm going to do 2 layers of denim. Just going to go a little distance. I'm going to add 2 more layers of denim. And watch this. I'm going to add 2 more layers of denim. Anybody who's ever tried to, and I really wish I had a stiletto right now. Let me lift this up. Anybody who's ever tried to hem jeans knows exactly how hard this is. And it doesn't even blink. It just goes right through it. So that is 6 layers of denim. I have not changed the needle size. I haven't changed anything. And I get that beautiful straight stitch with the Move It fit. Okay, and the last one I want to show you, dear to my heart, you all know this. Well, no, I've got 2 to show you. Piecing. Strip piecing especially, long strips. Oh, keeping that straight. Now, I'm not going to change the foot just because of timing. I'm not going to change the foot, but I want you to notice you have a 1/4 inch foot or a stitch in the ditch. If I leave my needle in the center position while using this foot, I have a stitch in the ditch foot. So you quilters who want to finish your quilts on your domestic sewing machine, look at this space. I don't know, 12 and a half? It's 11 inches of available throat plane. I've probably got about 5 inches tall. I'm an overestimator, obviously. I have a lot of room to get a quilt in there. And I have in one foot, I have both a stitch in the ditch, or if I move my foot leftward and calibrate it, I have a 1/4 inch foot, so I can use it for piecing. And then I have an open-toed foot if you're doing dense applique or anything where a zigzag where you need to have visibility of your needle. So it comes with 3 foot attachments to the main foot. I'm not going to switch out that little toe, that little foot adapter yet. I'm just going to stitch along here. We all know, and you're going to forgive me my less than 1/4 inch seam because I'm just eyeballing it for today. How often I finish a jelly roll, a long strip piece, like I'm going to cut it down, and one piece is ever so much longer than the other. And these aren't cut exactly the same, but let's pretend they had. And it's going to move my upper fabric at the same rate of speed as my lower one. And that's what works for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread and show this to you. It's a beautiful stitch, even in contrasting color. It's a beautiful stitch. So that is the Brother Move It foot. And the last thing, I can't do it without showing a little bit of stitching, a little bit of straight line channel quilting. It happens, I call it duck water, when I'm doing channel quilting with any walking foot. And I have to use a walking foot. That's just understood. I can use a ruler, but I prefer a walking foot and a ruler because I'm just doubling down on success in that regard. At any rate, I get duck water. I stitch down, I go back to the top, I stitch down, I get back, go to the top, and when I release it, I get that those little ripples. And even with my walking foot, I do, because remember, even though it's, uh-oh, is everybody, both of us out?
No, you mean put, I can make you the, there you go. You're back in, Sherry.
Okay, so what I was trying to say, and please pardon our internet, we've just had fits with our internet provider trying to get a consistent stream of internet into the store. So I hope you can be forgiving of that. Anyway, so watch me go. I'm going to do a straight line. And I'm going to go all the way across my little 9-inch square. I just love that cut button up there. Love, love, love it. Use the width of my foot as a unit of measure. So I'm going to tell you I've got about a 1/2-inch channel here. And again, it's very successfully pulling all layers together. And I wish I had a longer stitch. Programmed a longer stitch, but I didn't. And what you're going to see after this third one, I'm just going to keep ripples that I would have if I had used a traditional foot or even a traditional walking foot. So this Move It foot is really spectacular. I was tickled to find it. What I'd like to tell you is on your large format machines, including the 2450, I have an adjustment here. This will speed up or slow down the speed of that belt. And that's how I achieve that differential feed. So if I were stitching shears like this pretty little piece right here, if I were going to use that to sew, I would need a scrap piece, and I would test each setting until I found the one that perfectly moved both layers of fabric together. So that's pretty much the Move It foot on these Incredible Brother machines. I'm most impressed with it. Oh, I had one more thing. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, I use the walking foot, but right now I just need to do something little, real fast. And I don't want to have to take all this contraption off. Here's a groovy little thing. There's a little lever right there. I can flip it up, and just like that, my upper feed dog or that belt system is disengaged, or drop it back down, and it's right back in place again. So I don't have to keep switching my machine and my foot out if I'm going between regular sewing and walking foot sewing. So that's the Move It foot. It's really gravy. It's really gravy. It's really groovy. Okay, so I want to tell you about, I'll move on from there. I hope you're all still with me. I hope I'm still with you. I'm going to move on to talk about what's coming up in classes. The one this weekend that I'm super excited about, and there is still room in the class, is called the Bloom Quilt. This is part of that excuse me, wrong camera. You suppose I'll make like a bloopers reel on YouTube? The Bloom Quilt. This is part of the Cut Loose Press series. And when you sign up for this class, you'll need to purchase the ruler, which we will offer to you at a 15% discount. It is a unique ruler. Forgot what I'm saying. Oh, but the pattern is free to you. Pick your own fabrics. I think it's 10 fat quarters and 2 1/4 yards of background fabric, then 1 1/4 yards for the setting triangles in the border, and then binding and backing on all that. If you go to the website at sewbargain.com, go up to classes and events, and then scroll to this Saturday, you will see Jamie Jones is teaching the Bloom Quilt. And I think that just makes the cutest little, they're hexie shaped, the cutest little flowers. And that's what it says, because April showers bring May flowers, the Bloom Quilt. So that's this Saturday. There's just a few spots left. Her series are very, very popular. So I hope you'll join us for that. The next one I want to tell you about is a series that hasn't gotten a lot of airtime. So I want to talk about this. And if you ladies who own that incredible Janome 15,000 machine, there's a lot to learn on that machine. And Deb really knows it. She's really been studying and practicing and developing her skills in order that she can share with you this Janome 15,000. This is a club series. It is a 4-part series. In April, we did Intro to Machine. So this month, we're going to talk about quilting. Lesson number 2 is quilting. Quilting tools in the Janome 15,000, channel quilting, class quilting, I don't even know what that is, quilting feet, optional feet, and the best practices for quilting in the hoop. And then June is more, and July, and then in August there's a project. So it's not instructional, it's project based. And then whatever comes after August is September. So then we'll start the series over again. If you bought a Janome 15,000 from the Stitching Post, that class is yours for free. And we would love to have you join us. Let me tell you when it is. It is every second Wednesday from 2 to 4. The bloom quilt, you need a price? They're making that. See, bloopers. $35 for the bloom quilt. And then the ruler is 15% off.
We want to let the people who know who bought a Janome 15,000, but not from us, you're more than welcome to come to this class. It's just $25 for each class.
There you go. It's a great way to learn that really dynamic machine. So the next thing I want to tell you about, Robin has a thing coming up on.
It was the 16th, but we moved it to April 28th.
April 28th. It is a free, let me say it again. It is a try before you buy opportunity with the Janome machines like the, just help me here.
M7.
The M7, the 9450, the Sky 7 line. It's project-based. The Sky 9, it's project-based. You get to come in, sit and sew. We have a Janome educator. Y'all excuse my phone. We have a Janome educator streaming in who's going to walk us through a project. And it's really going to be a lot of fun just to come and sit and sew with your friends. Try out one of these amazing Janome machines and give yourself a chance to see if that's working for you. I'm frozen.
Refresh button.
There we go. Okay, sorry, I froze for a moment. Time out. All right, and the last one I want to tell you about, Karen and I are super excited about this one. Have you seen this by Annie's Ultimate Travel Bag? Trina, in her beautiful use of fabrics, chose the fabrics of this one for me. I love this elephant fabric. I pre-quilted it for her, and then our teacher, DJ Kelly, who's a longtime customer of ours, made this bag, and we're going to have a class. This is the ultimate travel bag. There you go. It's gorgeous. It has pockets. It has this little loopy thing so you can hook it on your rolling bag. If you're a retreater, a traveler, it's just, frankly, it is the ultimate travel bag. It's a by Annie's pattern. And we have this class coming up. Now, before you get too excited, I don't have it on the calendar, but pinky promise this bag and this class will be on the calendar before the end of this week. And it is Mother's Day weekend and the weekend after. It's going to be, here's how it's going to work. On a Thursday, if you want to come into the store and pre-quilt your fabric and cut out your pieces, you just bring your machine and all your fabric, and there's your chance to get it all pre-cut, because it must be pre-quilted and pre-cut before class begins the next day. The next day is Friday, and you'll start getting all of it started. You'll sew Friday, you'll sew Saturday, you'll go home and catch up if you've fallen behind, and the following Saturday, you'll finish putting your bag together. It's quite a challenge, but I think it's worth it. I will have available to you a kit so that you don't have to go out on 14 websites and buy 17 different pieces. I'll have available to you kits that include your hardware, your stabilizers, your zippers, your mesh, and then you just come in and pick the one that you need. So I hope you're as excited about this one as I am. That bag sat on a table for 5 minutes before I had a crowd around it here in the store. So we're super excited about that. That's a whole lot of mention at Monday.
Who's gonna get this bag?
Well, me, of course. I don't think she's buying it. Okay, thanks. That was a whole lot of talking. I appreciate you guys joining us and laboring through our amateur photography. I appreciate that very much. We will, let's see, tonight is Stash Builders on remote location. So that's really exciting. Besides, I get to leave work early, so that's cool. And then sometime later today, I'm going to post a picture that is our project of the week. We're a little behind.
Oh, yeah, so that's something else to mention.
What did I forget?
It's tax-free week!
Oh my gosh, how did I forget that? I really did forget. This week, it's supposed to be tax week, but because of, Corona, I think it's later in May. But because it was already on our calendar, we just went with it. This week, what do you get?
You don't have to pay any taxes.
On everything?
Not everything. We're not doing it on the sheets this time. Maybe later in the year we'll have opportunity.
Okay.
But any fabric, notions, feet, hoops, machine accessories, thread, stabilizer, any machine accessories, anything.
And that starts tomorrow. Tax free. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Ladies, I hate to interrupt you, but we have some lovely questions.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And so,
Well, you're the
Joyce
one that's ready
Styler,
for the questions.
that's I do. Joyce Tyler says, do we have any Saturday classes for us working gals?
Well, I do. Watch the calendar. I do my best. You know what? Bloom Quilt is Saturday. Come join us. So I have a thing. I'm trying to do some Thursday night stuff. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to do some Thursday night stuff for you, or at least free sit-and-sews for you working ladies. Please keep following the calendar and the Facebook, and just the education department, as it is in evolution. It changes pretty much daily. So keep an eye on stuff. I thank you for asking for that, though. What else you got?
We got one more question.
Let's
Miss-
have it.
Miss Anthony says, hello, do you have the Gypsy Ruler Gripper?
For free motion quilting, or the one that looks like a big phone, I have the Gypsy Quilter Gripper.
Is this for the rulers or for free motion? Because
So I do have the one for free motion. I don't have the big phone shaped thing for rulers, but I will get that ordered. But
Well,
tell them what I do have.
we have the quilter's ripper.
Yeah, it's the wooden handle
It's got
thing.
a wooden
yeah.
handle and a clear base, and you basically it compresses onto your rulers or to your fabric on your mat, and that will keep them from slipping.
Joanne says it's purple.
Yeah, we know
As
what
is
it
all
is.
gypsy stuff. All the gypsy stuff is purple. Oh.
But come check out our quilters companion.
Is this Joanne Anthony?
Yes.
Hey, Joanne, I'll call you when this is over. We'll talk through it. We'll figure out if we don't have what you want, we will definitely order it in.
And Joyce says she can't come this week, but I bet if she didn't have pre-planned, she'd probably join us.
Oh, we'll miss you while you're gone.
Well, there's lots of these quilt patterns, so we'll be doing them throughout the year. So be sure to check out the next series.
So once again, for the ladies out there, what are the dates on our tax-free sale?
Starts tomorrow, the 13th, and goes until Saturday, the 17th.
And stay tuned on Facebook. You'll see it. Trena's latest project of the week is Precious. She's so awesome. Anyway.
Just another announcement. Last one before we go. We do have the Quilt Festival that's put on by Rusty Barn Quilt Shows, and that is June 17th through the 19th. And we're so excited because we didn't get to have it last year, but we're going to get to have it this year, and it's going to be awesome. So be sure to look out for coupons, and we'll definitely be out there with some great specials and gadgets and all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm looking
It's a
forward
fun
to
show.
it.
I've worked those shows before. They're always fun. All right, you guys. This was a long Mention It Monday. I guess I just had a lot to say as usual. It's awesome having you with us, and we will see you later tonight. Bye.